Ask most people and they'll tell you their chances of being made.
Billionaires are not thin and only part of the world population will ever achieve this high financial milestone. There are still many things we can all learn from super rich people, and I will learn in this video. Share with you 10 billionaire habits you need to start practicing right now, and if you're new to it channel, then hit the subscribe button for more life-changing content. To fully understand how billionaires live their daily lives and how these habits lead to their financial success, Bill a friend and see what activities they do on a regular basis. Every day Bill wakes up eager to start his day but instead dives right in. As soon as he gets up and gets down to business, he likes to win something quick under him. For Bill to set the tone for the day, the belt meant going to the 5-mile run. And now the Bill to breakfast with his wife was not always on the run but over. He realized that the first thing in the morning was to get up and run. Allowed him to push himself physically as well as mentally and further his development. It has also helped move the needle in his business. Spending time with his wife ensures that he doesn't let his work overwhelm him as much. One of the most important aspects of their life is their family. Billing the family and their health needs first thing in the morning sets the tone for the day and lays the foundation for the ongoing success he is now accustomed to achieving. I said Bill wasn't always an avid exerciser, and one thing he was. Laziness, which he struggled with for years, always had the best of intentions to exercise, but when it was time to lace up his shoes and go for a run, instead they will resort to working more or watching TV while studying, so that he can see progress in his work and his health and his life as a whole. You'll find that just one workout won't keep you going healthy. If you want to build and maintain good health, you need to build daily habits around an aspect of your life that most people don't realize. That your work ethic isn't different is nothing you have to do consistently. Maintain. You have to practice staying focused, and you have to challenge yourself. You need to work harder on yourself, because if you are well satisfied, you will have a work ethic. Stand apart and you slow down, and that's exactly what was happening with Bill. This is why billionaires like Bill develop tricks to keep themselves afloat. Discipline. Every single day they do at least one something they don't like is something they usually avoid at all costs. For Bill it was walking, and for other successful people it might be talking. Leading a frustrated client or a difficult meeting is whatever it is for you. Challenging yourself daily will test your work ethic and give it a little boost. Strong. Now we already know that our friend Bill takes good care of it. Physical health, but he also takes care of his mental health. Bill practices on a daily basis. Thoughtfully ask yourself how often you take time off. Think. Henry Ford is famous for saying that thinking is the hardest thing there is to do. Perhaps this is the reason why so few people believe it or not. Thought is something that most people take for granted because it is your thing. Do this every time you're constantly thinking about your to-do list, responsibilities and expectations. Even when you're not thinking about work, your brain still gets a lot of things to think about, but here are some of the most people don't realize that you rarely think about how you're thinking, and that's it. What was Henry Ford talking about when he said this famous quote? In other words, you don't care about your trains of thought, but they are billionaires. Bill actually likes to spend time alone with his thoughts each day. The time between him running away and spending time with his wife to reflect on how he is, realizing what he wants to do, and being thankful for everything he has now and in the future will be found after allocating time for mental pursuits. Clarity has helped Bill succeed in reaching his financial goals, business, and became one of the richest men on the planet because of which he. Even after reaching these inspirations, this practice is continued. As you probably realize by milestones, Bill is a big fan of routine. He has a morning routine that he follows daily, and it is normal. Among the most successful people, they create routines for everything, like getting up in the morning is their exercise routine and how they do it, going about their day, and even how they prepare the bed. For Bill, for example, friend Jack likes to create routines for each day of the week in his business. Enjoys grouping his days of the week by activity that allows him to maximize them,
his attention level, and allows him to focus more deeply on the work he needs to do.
To complete, he organizes his week like Mondays are for management, Tuesdays are for product development, Wednesdays are marketing and development,
Thursdays are for developers, and Fridays for partnerships or culture and
recruitment. Week is the day off, and finally Sundays are for reflection. Strategic feedback and getting ready for Monday whenever Bill is asked how he is. Maintains such a high level of productivity, he emphasizes how important. It's about creating routines that can work back to back and eventually finish.
Losing time between activities each day is all Bill's work has already done. Mapped from start to finish, which can save him time.
More time deciding what to do and actually doing another thing. The trick to attribute this Bill to his financial success is changing it.
Internal clock. You've probably heard the saying to be a morning person.
The early bird gets a bug, and that bug is a load of money from years ago. Read a study showing that 90 executives wake up before 6 a.m. on weekdays, and about 50% of self-made millionaires are at least awake 3 hours before the start of their workday. The rich know how powerful early risers can be. Research shows that not only are early risers ascendants are more optimistic and honest, they also anticipate problems, minimize them more effectively, and when you think about it, getting rich is everything. An example of problem solving is Steve Jobs' problem solving,
Giving the world a modern personal cell phone with the iPhone,
which made him one of the richest people on the planet.
For Bill, getting up at 5 a.m. gives him plenty of time to go on his runs.
Time with my wife and some other activities I will talk about later. One thing that drove Bill's wife crazy was how disorganized and messy he was. Would he leave his papers on his desk and his clothes everywhere? Home. Then a day's Bill went very wrong. Major client contract that cost him a significant sum of money.
From this point on, he realized that he needed to be more organized within himself.
Everyday life no longer waits until the end of the month to reset the bill. He dedicates 10 minutes every morning to declutter his office, reviews his calendar, and organizes the workspace. And while it seems this annoyingly simple activity can actually save you a lot of time, with lots of money up front or in terms of bills, most people actually don't realize how confused they are in their environment with an unsafe room or desk.
It creates all kinds of unnecessary stress that, not to mention, will leave you feeling down.
Extra lazy Bill definitely feels more productive now that he has a clean the workplace to use, and its business success mirror this spirit. The previously mentioned habits that Bill uses on a regular basis. He preaches the importance of what he calls staying in the game to many. Think that once you become rich and successful you will be at the top forever, but that's not how it works. There are always other people, and companies are hungry to replace you, which is why you must stay in the game and keep working hard and innovate. That's actually why you look rich. People keep working even when they have more money than before. Unfortunately, Bill is often called too greedy to continue working. A billionaire, and he wants others to understand why he is so compelling. A 2018 study conducted by a Harvard Business School professor
determined that there are two central questions that people ask themselves
when determining whether they are satisfied with an aspect of their lives. The first is whether I am doing better than before, and the second is what I am doing
better than other people. It applies to wealth but also to height of attractiveness
and other things that people are worried about now are the worries of these questions. For example, if you want to estimate, many of them are difficult to measure. The good thing about parenting is that comparing yourself to other parents will be difficult measurement, but money is easy to measure. To answer well, the first question is whether you are doing better than before. Money is easy to measure. More money means more success, and less money means more success.
Low success is a convenient benchmark for using other amounts.
When comparing yourself to others, either you have more money than your friend,
not neighbors or business rivals, or you. The fact is that rich people, as Bills, are not inherently greedy and don't need to make a lot of money to be satisfied.
The simple truth of this greed is that they have become accustomed to using money as a tool, a barometer of success, and as their wealth grows, their target gets further and moving further down the wealth scale requires them to earn more money. Being a billionaire has many bills to pay to feel fulfilled. Advantages: this is definitely one aspect that he can live without. Before us, many of you have been asking me how to grow a YouTube channel like this. One is, if you want to know more, one of the ways Bill deals a surprising amount of it comes from journaling with everyday emotions. Billionaires journal on a daily basis, but they do it a little differently.
You can only think about their daily occurrences instead of recording them.
ESOS billionaires use their journal to strategize, which they plan for, map out their future with goals and timelines, and even brainstorm ideas that are new to them. The most billionaire your journal is the place to experiment with innovation. Some thoughts will be good and some will be bad, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is to put your idea on paper because you never do. Know when a random thought will change everything but what you do once. Have a group of ideas. A logical answer is to prioritize, and this. It's a skill that most billionaires like Bill have by prioritizing work. Activities for your family and your overall schedule require that you. It's especially important to keep your most important items in plain sight.
Bill, who for years struggled to maintain a balance between his work and his work.
For the sake of the family, he spent 12 to 14 hours a day in the office and left it a little. With the passage of time to spend time with wife and children, this distance started to develop.
Problems were brewing in the family, and Bill knew that if he continued this behavior, then he will lose everything he has worked so hard to build as he has adopted. The habit of journaling also prioritized things in his life. Need to spend as much time as possible with his family nowadays. Health. Hey, it looks like YouTube thinks this next video will do. Change your financial life forever. Give it a watch and see if they are right.